headshots today. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and you are at the home of the Forever Theater Kid. Welcome back if you've been here forever. And if you're new, hi, please subscribe. If you love musical theater, if you love anything performance related, we're still actors and performers even while we're on lockdown and quarantine, please subscribe to our channel, to my channel, our channel, everybody's channel who watch this. We're all one big family here. Make sure that you hit that bell notification so you know that every single time I upload. During quarantine, I've been kind of inconsistent. Surprise, surprise. It's been tough during quarantine. I think we can all agree that these are bizarre times. We're all just trying to make through, and I'm bringing you content when I can. I'm trying to give you a video a week. I don't know what my hair's doing. I don't know what my shirt's doing. Not fitting my boobs. I actually filmed this B-roll from when I got my headshots taken in January of this year, 2020. Really got to put them to good use. I think this is a great time to really prepare your materials and to prepare your toolbox, what this next phase of life is going to be for us actors. And I'm pretty sure that no matter where we are, no matter what we do, a headshot is always going to be something that you need. Everything's falling. I really took into consideration all the ways that I was prepping when I was getting my headshots taken, and I wanted to share that information with you. And let's get on into it. I've got 10 tips for you for how to prepare and have the best experience with your headshots. This is so fresh on my mind because Gabe is actually getting his shots taken by the photographer that I had, Shani Hajan. I am so excited. The work is incredible, and I'm so happy with what I have, and I can't wait for Gabe to get his too. Like I said, I filmed this a while back. It was way before COVID even existed. I kind of just felt like I need a refresher. We need to bring in some up-to-date info. First and foremost, if you're gonna get your headshots taken and you don't feel well at all, reschedule. That's not even a number, that's just like an asterisk. Like, that's the most important thing. The most important thing at this time is everybody's safety and health. So if there's any part of you that's like, do not go to those headshots. Speak with your photographer. I'm sure at this time, rescheduling and replanning out a date, or maybe even cancellations, are far more accepted, and there's probably more leniency because so much is up in the air, especially if you're a full-time performer. If your main ways of income is through gig life, is through freelance, is through performing, you know how important it is to be careful about the money that you spend on headshots. So don't spoil it by not communicating with your photographer if you do get ill. We're just gonna incorporate COVID related stuff into it because I think it's always going to be something that we're thinking about now. But even in a post-COVID world, I think it's gonna be something that's always on our minds. Okay, so first and foremost, research your photographers. I honestly just went on to like Instagram. Instagram is where I found all the photographers that I was interested in finding. Almost every photographer is going to either list their website, or you can DM them and ask them about their rates. Most likely their rates are going to be on their website, so you're not gonna have to press them, especially if you find out their rates are way too high for you, because that's a real thing. I was researching a certain style of headshot. Trends kind of go in and out. Like for instance, headshots used to be only black and white, and we only saw black and white headshots. But that's so not the case anymore. Now it's all about color. We want to see your eyes. We want to see what color your hair is. We want to see how you pop out through a picture. We want to see how that picture accurately represents who you are and what you bring to the room as an auditioner, as a performer, as an asset to the team. I wish there wasn't so much, oh my god, this shirt. I wish there wasn't so much pressure on a headshot, but there is. It's gotta represent who you are and what you bring to the table. And a lot of that comes from photographers that you mesh with, and they have styles that work well with you. I know the first time I got real professional headshots taken after college, I went with a guy, nameless, I went with a guy that really created beautiful, beautiful shots. He took shots of my friends and a lot of people that I knew, and I was just like, this is pretty expensive, but you know, I guess this is just what you have to pay for headshots. The shots just didn't look like me. They didn't look like, they were beautiful. They looked like not me. They were edited to such a way where I was just like, oh, I look hot. But I was fresh out of college and my look was more girl next door rather than like hot girl that's gonna like get you in trouble. Like, and that's what my headshots kind of were showing. So it wasn't it wasn't great. It wasn't for me. It didn't get me almost any work, you know, like, and that's kind of what.
Emily here. I just wanted to say that it's not the photographer's job to get you work, but your headshots are like your first step in the door to kind of helping you get hired. They're the first thing that a casting director sees. So if it doesn't represent you, how you are, and how you will enter into that audition room every single time, it's not you. It may as well be a different person on the picture. So it's hard to cast somebody that isn't the same as what's represented in the picture.
This time around when I was researching, and I've gotten other headshots in between then that were great. Then when I was done ships, I just needed to get new ones taken, especially with my short hair, how I've had it for a while. I looked at my friends on Instagram who were always working, had great headshots, and had a certain style that I was
looking. Talking about this style that I actually never went into, I've just noticed in the past couple years is that there's like a high focus and drawing you into the eyes of a headshot, which are the most important part of the headshot. I think it's a certain editing effect that's subtle enough, but really draws you in. I don't know. It's like there's a high focus on the face and the eyes, but there's a subtle blurriness in the background. I just gravitated towards that, and obviously there's a little bit of probably a little bit of the ring light kind of glow in the eyes. But yeah, I was so happy with how mine came out, and super pleased.
Here's the thing, a lot of different photographers, they get what the trends are at the time for a headshot. They kind of see where the industry's moving towards with the headshots. So different photographers are going to do that similar style with their own finesse on top of it. And also, different photographers are different prices. The packages, they're different prices. So I found someone that had the style that I liked in a price range that I could afford, that I knew her clients were booking work. Those are the three most important parts, right? At the end of the day, you want your headshot to help you get work. So yeah, I think even if you look up your region, wherever you're hailing from, wherever maybe the city you're closest to, search those hashtags. I looked up headshot photography, New York City actor, New York City headshots. You could do that for Chicago, LA, Indianapolis, Florida, Miami, any kind of major city that you are closest to is probably where you're gonna get headshots taken. Personally, I find that Instagram is the best place to look for them because it's so visual and you can get so much more and really get a feel of what type of headshot you want to exude. Number two, really be smart and be realistic about what you're able to spend. And if you need to save up, take the time to save up. Especially now, money is tight for a lot of people. Money is tight for a lot of performers. So be smart about the headshots you want to take. If you really love one photographer and you're dying to work with them and you have an opening with them, you only have a certain amount of money to spend. Number one, see if there's a payment plan that you can do, because sometimes photographers have payment plans. Or even see what the smallest package you could get is, or maybe only get one look from them. See if that's possible. Who knows? During this time, there might be photographers that are like, yeah, I have a special COVID price. I've got a special pandemic price. We all know the state of affairs, especially for us actors and performers right now. We know that the tools are still there that we need, and we know that we want to use other artists and we want to be able to pay other artists for their amazing work. But if you feel like you can't pay the usual price, talk to the photographer. Communicate. That's always the best way to get through to things. And if that means you look for someone else that has that price range that you're looking for, use them. You know, you don't always need to use top tier photographers to get really great shots. Also, look into colleges or even high schools. I mean, I tell you what, Gen Z, they know how to take a picture these days. People that are maybe students, they're looking to build their portfolios, build their client range. Plenty of actors in New York City who are also aspiring photographers and aspiring headshot photographers. They're looking for people to fill up their resume, to fill up their portfolio, and they might charge very little, or sometimes they're free. That exists. So look into that if you're really pinched for money, but you need headshots right now. I'm not gonna lie, after I got off ships and before I felt like I was financially ready to get new headshots, Gabe and I took a bunch of pictures on an iPhone on portrait mode. Were they the best headshots? No. We made it work. Did I get a lot of work from that? No, but I did book Cabaret. I don't know if my headshot had anything to do with it, but it helped me get in the room. I still got an audition for it, and after that audition and myself presented through it, I got the role. Who knows, right? Like, I've seen people who have taken their own headshots, if they've got like a nice DSLR, like a nice point and shoot camera like this is, take some really nice headshots. I've seen it be done. It is possible. Look it up online how to take the best portrait of yourself. Here it is. It's not the worst. I don't really know what I'm doing with my arms, but I thought it was decent. You know, it's not the worst thing I've ever taken in my life. And I kind of thought, girl next door, smiley, commercial. This is that headshot now. My eyes are a tiny bit crazy, but hey, I'm a tiny bit crazy. So my eyes are much brighter. The lighting is so much nicer. I'm kind of doing this like, hey, what's up? I'm here kind of thing. And I just think that this just looks so much more professional. This one was trying to do that, but an iPhone camera, at least the way in which we were taking it, was not taking it like this one was. It's really important before going into your headshot session, communicating with your photographer what types of work, what types of roles, what you want your headshot to exude. Not necessarily that you need to have a type, because I think we're starting to move out of the realm of type in the theater industry. Maybe not so much TV film, but in the theater industry, I feel like we're on the way to... Ooh, is this cuter? Oh, is this cuter? This is cuter. I think in the theater industry, we're on the way to evolving out of type as much, because newer shows are really, you know, cooler and are more inclusive. So I think it's really important to think about what types of shows do you want to be in? What types of roles do you want to play? Do you want to play that classic ingenue? Do you want to play, which is like, what does that even mean? Do you want to exude intelligence? Do you want to like have a secret that's going on that people are like, what are they about? My photographer sent me a questionnaire, and obviously that's her work. I'm not gonna like share what the questionnaire is, but in so few words, there were a couple of questions that really delved into it, because I was having a hard time of being like, I don't know what clothes to bring, I don't know, I'm kind of lost, because I'm kind of starting fresh again, and I'm at a different point in my life than I was last time I got headshots. Shawnee said to me, so what's something that you could play right now? What is a show that you would love to be in, but maybe doesn't exist on the stage right now? And if you could make up a show in which the perfect version of you and what you can do is up on the stage, what would that show be, and what would that character be? I think right now I could really play Eurydice in Hadestown, a lot of the different characters from Mean Girls. Like a dream role that doesn't exist for me right now is I think I could play a Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. I would love to play Fontaine one day. I would love to play Joe from Starry in a staged version of it, in the Broadway musical of My Favorite Murder. You know, something that's like a true crime thriller musical that has pop rock elements, and it's comedic. So you can play, right? Like, use your imagination. What are things that you really love? Do that research before, so you have an idea before going into your session on what you want. And that will help you into the next thing of choosing the clothing that you want to wear. So if you know how many looks you're allowed to do with your photographer, and each type of look is gonna have a different set of clothing related to it, you really only have to worry about, like, not a shirt like this, we're constantly doing this, from like your rib cage up, because for the most part, headshots are still very much like this, what you're seeing right now, because it is so much more about your face than it is about anything else. Print is okay as long as it's not too distracting. It used to be like only solid colors, and it was like, calm down. People have gotten much more lenient with wearing things that show your personality. So I have three main looks that I have on my headshots that are like touched up, and then I kind of have ready to go at all times. I was going for like a leading lady, a strong leading lady. So what I wore is, it was a white on white, and it was very classic, very beautiful, and it was very ethereal feeling. Felt like it really worked for like my main headshot, my main look, because that's the one, it's probably most versatile that I can bring to a lot of different auditions. The next look that I went for was like the quirky, weird friend, and it could also be like my younger look, and that was where I wore a tank top that had some tie-dye on it that was pink, and it had like a green background, and it was just more fun, right? Like I kind of felt like I could like loosen up be young, be quirky, be a little weird, be a little more eccentric. And then for my last look, I love singing rock. I love being badass. I love the edgier, newer shows that are coming out that are really gritty. So if I wanted to play Janice in Mean Girls, if I wanted to play anyone from American Idiot, like just kind of that kind of feel. Even Six, like, cause Six is like, they're all rockers, right? They're all rocking chicks. Sound like such a mom. And I really just kind of went through my closet, and I also went shopping a little bit. I brought more options than probably necessary. I always think it's better to be over prepared than to be under prepared and then really be in a tight pinch. So I brought really everything that I thought exuded those three styles, those three different looks. And then I had my photographer choose what she thought would be best, what would look best on camera, and what would highlight the best parts of me, like color-wise, style-wise, print-wise. So yeah, so those were the looks that I went for, and I brought so much extra, and I carted it along to Brooklyn in a little wheelie, like carry-on suitcase, far too much stuff with me, but it's always better to be over-prepared than to be under-prepared. When you're preparing our clothes, I don't obviously make sure that they're clean and that there are no stains on them, but I don't think it's really that important to make sure that like they're completely ironed and stuff, because for the most part, most photographers have a steamer or an iron, and you don't need to do more work than necessary, because if you're not going to wear all the different clothes that you brought, there's no need to take the time to steam and to iron out all the wrinkles that are in the clothing. Because when you get to the photographers, either they'll steam it out for you when you get there after they've chosen which looks that they want, or you can do it, right? And it's not going to be that much work because it's only a few pieces. I thought it was really fun to make a playlist that really felt like was music that would pump me up. I created a playlist of basically every song that I could think of that was going to make me really happy and really confident. Music helps me get into the spirit, it helps me get into the mood. It felt really fun to create a playlist of all the things that would make me happy. And honestly, I keep listening to that playlist now because I chose some really, really good things. If you want a link to that playlist, I will actually leave that right down below if you're interested. I've never shared my Spotify before, but if you want to know that playlist, she's right down there. But I actually didn't even end up using it because my photographer had a playlist going, and I was really liking her playlist. It was very, very chill, it was very zen, and I had actually been really stressed leading up to it. Me? Stressed? Imagine. And so the music that she chose, I was like, oh wait, this is a vibe I'm really digging right now. I like it. In about like the week or maybe 2 weeks if need be, leading up to your headshot session, I really suggest to hydrate and to get as much sleep as humanly possible. Go to sleep early, sleep in if you're able to. Sleep and hydration are gonna be what make you look your best. It's gonna make your skin nice and plump in a good way. You won't feel bloated, you'll feel so nice and rested, your eyes will be like ready to be open and to be fresh and to be bright. So get as much sleep and drink as much water and stay as hydrated as you can. I tried, but we got a puppy a week and a half before I got my headshots taken, and there was not a lot of sleep or hydration going on during that time. I was drinking a lot of coffee, and I was very, very tired and very, very frustrated. Beautiful time having a puppy that age, but it was also a very difficult time, especially when I knew that my headshots were coming up, and I just felt like I was like dragging myself along. But then that's the power of editing, right? That's the power that the photographer has in their hands. Shani clearly made my eyes look very, very bright and alive, and like there was intrigue behind them, except exhaustion. It wasn't that deep. I kind of woke up in that moment and I had like 2 hours of really feeling like I was like with it and like awake and alert and giving it and really kind of treating each picture like a performance, right? Like I was trying to exude those characters as much as possible. And then on the way home, I was like, oh, battery low. If you can, drink as much water, get some of that liquid IV, which is stuff that I'm loving these days. And it will also just help you feel healthy, right? Health in this time is so important. Again, if you are feeling ill at all leading up to your appointment,
don't go.
I would also suggest like get yourself tested a couple days before going to get headshots taken, because Getting your headshots taken is actually a very intimate experience. A lot of time they're touching your hair, they're touching your face to touch up your makeup. You want yourself to be freaking safe, and you want your photographer to be safe.
Dave actually just got back from getting his headshots taken, and I asked him, I said, how intimate did they get? Everybody was wearing masks, everybody was wearing face shields. The only things that were being touched were with a makeup brush. So like precautions are being super taken on the photographer's end of it. So it would be good to do your part on the other end as the client to just get yourself tested to make double sure that you're totally safe for everyone there.
Guess what? If you end up going into a headshot testing positive with the virus and you go into that headshot and you put the other people there at risk, guess what? You're not gonna work in this industry. You're not, because that will get around. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, and knowledge is power, you're not gonna get work. Another thing to do leading up to your headshots, practice in the mirror, like different faces you wanna make. This is something I didn't do, but I wish I did, because on the day of I went, I probably should have done that. Because sometimes I feel like I only have one face, but I know that that's not true. When I'm editing these videos, I'm like, how many faces is that girl making? Can you just calm down for a second? Kind of do feel like if you don't practice looking silly in the mirror and taking some pictures, you do kind of feel like, oh, am I only doing one thing this whole time? And if you've got a great photographer, they're gonna bring out different sides of you, and they're gonna bring out different expressions in you, and they're gonna help you think of different things to kind of help you show different things in your face. But to make it easier on you and your photographer, practice in the mirror. The different types of smiles that you feel celebrate who you are and the best features that you have. If you feel really uncomfortable with your smile, I'm so sorry, that breaks my heart, because a smile is a beautiful thing. Not that you have to smile all the time, but a smile is just like such a beautiful thing, and you feel so good when you smile. But if you're not feeling confident about your teeth or your gums or something about the way your mouth is configured, that's okay. You're allowed to have insecurities. So find the smile that works best for you. If anything, you might not find what you love, but you might really find things you don't like. If I smile really big, like I don't really care for how this side of my face gets like very square while this goes up. If I'm putting so much tension in my smile, that's something I'm not crazy about. So I'll smile more with my top teeth, or I'll smile more like that, and really make sure that like it's curved underneath. I don't know. You feel really dumb. You feel really silly when you're doing it. But if you're doing it by yourself, ain't nobody gonna judge you. Also, a good thing to do is maybe doing it into a camera. Do it into your phone so that you can do it, take as long as you want, and then look back with kind of a more objective, critical eye and be like, love that, let's practice that. Or think about different characters that you want to play and what types of faces do they make, or types of actors that you love that you feel like you're a lot like. What types of faces do they make? It's always good to play around, and also you'll have more fun in the room if you have more options to play with. I love just kind of having a moment where I just like throw the bird, because I think that's fun, and people might be like, oh, Emily, crude. Well, get over yourself, because I think that also like loosens you up and makes you feel more badass and stupid and silly, and just loosens you up, and you're just like, ah, whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's not that deep. Musical theater kids, God, we're so serious. We are VV intense. I think the night before or a couple days before your headshot sessions, really like take care of your skin as much as you can. If you're able to not wear makeup, if you're a person that wears makeup, maybe give yourself a week break or a couple days, especially in quarantine if you're working from home. Give yourself a good amount of break from wearing makeup for a little while, because you want your skin to feel as fresh as possible. If it breaks out after your headshots, it's not that bad. If you can give yourself a break from a lot of makeup, hi Daisy, how are you? That could be great for your skin. Give yourself a face mask, give yourself a little exfoliation if you're not in an active break. If you're in an active breakout, probably don't do either of those. If you're gonna do a mask, do something that's super hydrating. But if you need to, like, give yourself a little exfoliation. Give yourself a little facial if you can, because that will make your skin just like glow. Again, just like when I said I wasn't getting any sleep. Well, with that, for my headshots, I also had like a bit of a breakout happening on my chin. It was stress, it was hormones. When it comes down to it, my photographer edited it out, because those are just like little things that would change. It's not like she's changing the structure of my face, but she did clear up the acne that was on my chin. Make a disclaimer. You do not have to wear makeup for your headshots. You do not need to change your face. You do not need to like cake it on for the gods. You do not need to pretend you don't have acne. As long as you're exuding who you are as a person to the fullest extent, That's what your headshot needs to show. Whatever you bring into the room is what they want to see in the headshot. If your acne is part of you, especially people who might have scars or different pigmentation on their face, if that's something that is you and it's what you're going to bring to your characters, because it's part of you, it's part of your essence, don't hide that from your photo. Because if anything, that makes you so unique. That makes you uniquely you. I just had a couple of blemishes on my face that I was just like, I would cover that up in an audition as much as possible because that's me, that's my choice. But if that's not your choice, don't cover it up. Be who you are. Don't cover up if you've got hair that you're like, no, I freaking own my hair. Own that hair, bring that to the room, because that shows you in your most authentic self, and that is the most important thing for your headshots. I feel like that's poignant, and I want to end on that, but that's not the last thing I have. The last thing I have, and I believe that this is number 10, is on the day of your headshots, bring snacks and water and chapstick. Yeah, and antibacterial. Bring chapstick because you will find that your mouth gets chapped, it gets dry. It's never cute to have a crusty lip. We all know this. Bring snacks because I know for me, I get hangry. Snack that won't stain your clothes, snack that won't leave like a weird film on your teeth, or maybe like if it's something that's like darker, like a granola bar that has like chocolate in it, make sure that there's no chocolate in your teeth. So maybe also bring like a flosser or two. A lot of times you'll take a little break here or there. Photographers want you to get the most out of the time and money that you're spending. You're not gonna take big breaks, but if you're like, I need to eat something really quick to get my energy back up, they're gonna be like, absolutely. Definitely bring water, because it's always good to just have water to continuously hydrate. That's kind of all I got. That's your headshots. And sometimes you hope that you become like friends with your photographer and your makeup artist because they're really cool. I hope that this video was helpful for you. I know that we're in tough times right now. I know that it's really hard to find things to look forward to. If headshots is the one thing that you're looking forward to in the next couple months, then freaking go all out in terms of like living your truth in those headshots. Just make sure that you're safe. Contact your photographer, ask them what types of procedures that they're going through to make sure everything is safe for both of you. For the love of God, wear a mask. Obviously, you shouldn't have to wear a mask when you're taking pictures. You have every right also to like make sure that the space that you're going into is safe for you, because a lot of times you're going into people's personal apartments, personal studios. I'm sure that every single photographer that is working right now wants to continue working and wants to continue to have a good reputation so that more clients are going to come to them even in these tough times. So I'm sure that there are regulations in place that photographers have. If they require you to wear a mask at all times except when you're taking your pictures, be respectful and wear your mask. You should be wearing it anyway. I don't want to hear it any other way. Listen to your photographer and what they require. If you are uncomfortable with the fact that they are not wearing a mask, I don't think there's anything wrong with requesting that they wear a mask and that they keep it over their nose and under their chin. That's important. And if you find that your photographer is not doing that and you feel uncomfortable, I believe you have every right to request that. We're in a time where you're allowed to be selfish about your safety. As long as you're being kind about it, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying what you need as their client. So these tips are really easy. You want these headshots to last you for at least a couple of years. You want them to best represent you. Be smart about it. Prepare. Think a little bit ahead. Get the best shots you can. And at the end of the day, have fun. Did I say that? Have some fun. I'm gonna leave the information for my photographer and my makeup artist down below because they were wonderful, and I suggest if you're in the New York City area and you're looking for someone local, this is who I suggest. If you are a photographer and you take headshots, write that down below. Write that in the comments. Bring people to your business. Like, come on now. And thank you for watching. If you want to see any more advice that is about musical theater related things or resources or real informational stuff about musical theater, go on, check it out right up here. The little playlist there. And also just a video that is so specifically for you, you wouldn't even know. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Stay safe, stay well, be kind to yourself. Bye. I should have made this face for my headshots.